Sam became producers on the series in the 5th season. So what was the learning process like, and how would you say it has sort of enhanced your view as an actor?
I think this year, especially the first half of the season, was basically just sitting and listening. You know, we didn't really get the title until all stories were broken and most scripts were more or less laid out. Obviously, they weren't finished being written, so we didn't have much input at sort of the early stories stages. But, you know, I think we had a lot more influence sort of on set and how things were going. And, you know, our writer's room is in California, and we usually just have one writer producer on set whenever we're shooting. And there was a lot of new writers this season. So people who were coming to the show with maybe not as much knowledge as they had. And even like some of our line producer had changed hands this year. So there was a lot of new faces around. And I think, you know, where we were able to really sort of bring a positive influence was in keeping that through line, or trying to keep the through line of what the sort of essence of the story is. And it's been really interesting. I mean, just sitting in production meetings and learning what every single department brings to the table and why certain decisions are made. It's really fascinating. And as an actor, you know, I think sometimes you envision a scene in a certain way and you arrive on set, and when things are different, you're sort of like, well, why is this the way it is? You know, and then you realize that there is 15 to 20 reasons why financially or logistically that these things aren't possible. And I think it's actually really beneficial as an actor to have a broader view of what's going on in the show. And, you know, I think it is definitely a thing with productions where they don't feel like the actors need to know anything. You know, it's sort of like show up, say your lines, and, you know, do what you're told. But I actually think that most actors would actually benefit more from knowing more about what goes into the production. You know, I love it. And I definitely don't want it just to be a vanity title. You know, I want to be as proactive and as invested as I'm let. You know, I think it's fascinating, you know, especially when you've been on a show for 5 years and you're sort of playing the same character. You want to keep learning new things and you want to keep growing as a person and professionally. So in that way, it's been really good.
Well, you talked earlier about the ways in which Jamie has evolved through the 5 seasons. And I'm curious, in what ways do you think you have grown with the character? Like, how have you seen yourself sort of evolve in this process too?
I hope I'm a better actor. I hope I'm wiser, and I don't know if I am, but yeah, I think we've become so ingrained in the show now. You know, I feel like, you know, before, and certainly season 1 and 2, you're constantly we're always trying to discover who the character is and dig deeper and understand who they are. But as you get to play a character for longer, you start to know them better, you know, and I think there's a shorthand now, and I feel I know exactly who Jamie is, you know, and there's still moments when he surprises me, and when I read stuff in the script or the book and I'm like, why is he doing that? But that's what makes a great character, the fact that they can still surprise you even after playing them for 6 years. But yeah, I mean, I feel very fortunate. It's changed my life in a great number of ways. I have a lot more opportunity to do other projects, to lend my voice to charity work, to write books, to do all these other projects, which I guess is important in sort of my journey as an actor. But yeah, I just feel very, very fortunate, to be honest.
Well, Outlander has been renewed for 6th season. Do you have any sense of when production will resume? Have you been in constant contact about that? And what do you sort of hope to see in season 6?
Yeah, well, we were supposed to start shooting beginning of May. We have been pushed till the end of August, September. I'm hopeful that we'll be okay. I think with restrictions and a sort of maybe a reduced crew and social distancing, maybe it can happen. I don't know. It's such a big production. We'll see. But the producers have been in contact. The scripts are being written. I've read the first 2. So we're in a good place. And I think when the world heals after all this, I think, you know, we'll be ready to go. Very fortunately, I've actually been working on a show called Clanlands that I created. So I've been working on that, and that should hopefully be out in that period as well. So there'll be something that I'm working on during that period. Yeah.
Before we wrap up, it's time for the final segment in our show, in which we ask you a question from our previous guest, Pamela Adlon, the creator, writer, director, and star of Better Things on FX.
Is she thinking about how she is going to keep going in the future as an actor and more? And I would encourage her to not just be myopic and think about things in bigger ways and branch out and find her happiness and passion in more than one place. I mean, that's less of a question, more of just advice.
Am I thinking about the future as an actor and beyond? Yes. I like to think that I'm quite a forward-looking person. And I think in this industry, you constantly want to be challenged by new experiences and evolve. And I think, that's not only in playing very different characters to what I'm playing right now, but doing other things like producing or directing. And, who doesn't want to be Betty White and still be in demand in their 90s? So, yeah.
No, I like it. Well, Caitriona, thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Really lovely chatting with you.
And thank you again for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. It was great to chat.